Live from the Cerritos. It's the Geek Show.
All right, before we start the show, I just want to go on record. Hitler bad, Geek Show good. All right? That's all you need to know. Hitler bad, Geek Show good. All right.
Bold of us to even be taking a stance.
I know, isn't it?
Turn your mic up a little bit, Carrie. It got quiet.
We're so brave. We're so brave for taking a stance.
We don't have a billionaire. We don't have a billionaire owner telling us we shouldn't take a side.
Mark Cuban bought us yesterday, but like every other rich person who's owned the show, he's not going to do anything with it or support it or back it in any way, shape, or form.
I'm fine with both of those things.
I was going to say, I kind of like Mark Cuban. He seems...
Oh, no.
Let Mark Cuban... I wish Mark Cuban would buy back Twitter and restore it to its original glory.
And CNN and the New York
Times. You know what Mark Cuban has done? You know what Mark Cuban has done with his Mark Cuban pharmacy company?
His pharmacy.
Yeah.
Yeah. He has made gender-affirming medication affordable for trans people, which no pharmacy will do. The pharmaceutical companies don't want to do that because they know that the medical organizations and psychiatrists are going to say that according to the DSM-5, it's a lifestyle choice and not anything else, so they don't have to. So Cuban's made it so that you can get your meds that you need.
But Egg does remind us Mark Cuban bought the Yellow Pages that he worked for and outsourced all the jobs. So
but Egg, you still want to be at the Yellow Pages.
Nobody's perfect.
I was going to say, I get that, but the Yellow Pages went away anyway because of the internet.
He gets that because of the internet. He's quad T too, Tony.
There's a lot of things I get because of the internet. There's a lot of things I shouldn't get also because of the internet.
Oh, such as?
Not stepping in that one.
Robert tried to lay it out for Tony to step in. Tony sidestepped it. Robert Neal, everybody.
The birthday boy.
I got a message for you.
Happy birthday.
Here we go. Listen.
This is Shatner saying happy birthday.
There you go.
Nice.
Thank you, Captain. Thank you, Admiral.
I remember the first time I had that on my answering machine at home.
Do you still have it?
He had an answering machine. He still has it. He's Leisure.
No, I don't.
You don't?
No, I just remember listening to it and going, Carrie remembered my birthday, and there isn't even an internet for us to remind us yet.
You know how I did that? Cassette recorder? Phone. That was easy. Just played it over the phone.
What are those things?
I know, right?
Yeah.
Back in our day.
She doesn't know what those things are. She's Rebecca Frost.
I'm going to quote a tweet that I saw. In the battle between Superman and Lex Luthor, the Daily Planet has decided not to take a side.
Classic. Excellent tweet.
Bold of them to
So bold.
Frost for Lane.
not take a side. Let's see.
Our host.
And our host.
Mr. Kerry Jackson.
All right, Monday through Friday, 6 to 10, x96.com, still owned by a billionaire. Okay. Thank you.
I
All
was
right,
owned by a billionaire once.
It's not fun. Let's get to it.
Never mind.
What? He was.
I'm so uncomfortable.
Such a good start.
For your birthday, I'm giving you the gift of my awkwardness.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Have it. Take
Normally I charge
I
for
was
it.
gonna
Today
say,
I'm
he
giving it
charges
away
a high
freely.
price.
Please,
I
for the
charge
love
you
of
for
God, take
Dear
my
Lee, have a
awkwardness.
shovel.
Yeah.
Let's begin with. Oh wow, this thing looks so cool. Creature Commandos.
I watched this trailer because I
I'm
couldn't resist.
so mad at
It's
them.
awesome. Oh?
HBO made it look like it was out. So I loaded it up. I'm like, yeah, trailer.
Oh, it's really soon though.
Wah.
It's coming
Yeah, it's
very soon. What,
December.
December.
It's almost November.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
But this is very cool. And again, the newest character that I didn't know I needed in my life, G.I. Robot. I had no idea who he was, but I need him in my life now. Sean Gunn is G.I. Robot. But it looked terrific. The animation style, James Gunn says we're looking for a specific look for the animation style. That's why it looks that way. We wanted it to look that way. Let's see. The aesthetic for the series. Here it is. We were looking to do something that was sort of grounded, but with some style to it. It got a lot of really dark tones, The palettes are really cool, but as you can see, it's very action-oriented. It sets itself apart from, say, Harley Quinn and those kind of shows. This feels more adult. Specifically...
You're more adult than Harley Quinn?
Did you watch the trailer?
Speaking specifically of Frankenstein, Gunn noted that he leaned into Mary Shelley's origin story for the character. He says it's definitely its own take for sure, but you do have this Frankenstein and the bride story, which is a bit of a traditional thing to it. And then David Harbour, who is the biggest, next to Lee George Cade, biggest Frankenstein fan.
Oh, no, he's bigger than me because he did Frankenstein's Monsters, Frankenstein.
It goes Guillermo del Toro, David Harbour, then Lee George Cade.
Yeah.
It's a familiar theme, but it's a very original take. It's some beautiful storytelling. I love the character. I think people will be really surprised. This is not. And when they talked about the animated characters, the possibility of seeing them in live action, Gunn confirmed those are the plans. Not only do we want to, but Rick Flag appears in Superman. He's a major character in Peacemaker Season 2. We wanted to cast people who could play those characters live action, at least for the major characters.
That's Frank Grillo, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think they're admitting that Rick Flag Jr. is dead.
Kind of sounds that way.
And this is Rick Flag Sr.
Yeah, there was some interview I feel like I saw where they're like, yeah, Rick Flag is dead.
Yeah, that
Unless
was
he's Frankenstein.
Yeah, that was...
the twist.
Dun, dun, dun.
Anyway, there you go. Creature Commandos coming. You only have to wait about a month and a half here.
Yeah. Don't take it for granted, people.
Unlike the next story we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
Can you boost your mic some more, Carrie?
Okay. Let me see what I can do.
It's on the quiet side.
I thought I had it up all the way. I do, in fact, have it up all the way.
Oh.
Here, let me boost this. There we go. How about that?
Hey.
Mucho bad.
Always reach for the master control. There
Much
you go.
better. Huzzah.
All right. This next one is a ways away, but worth the wait, I think. Severance Season 2. Go and watch
90 before it's done.
Go watch this trailer. March 21st is when it ends. No, it's January 17th.
I left a job, had a house burned down, rebuilt an entire house before this show has even come out for the second season.
And that's the
Not
thing.
all of us have super speed, Rebecca.
I was talking to some of my friends about
10
this.
episodes.
I was talking to some of my friends about this, and it's like back in the day when shows aired on TV, we waited, 6-8 months in between seasons, roughly?
Three.
Yeah, depending on the show.
And they were 22-episode seasons.
And
Lost did it in a cave with a box of scraps.
Exactly,
and
Mr. Stone.
here's a little controversy to throw you. And they weren't as good.
No,
Well,
they
okay,
weren't.
so there is something to be said for that. But
I
if
don't
you're
think.
cutting
I
it
don't
from,
think. Sorry,
don't-
Tony.
it's okay. Just Lost was good. We believe you, Rebecca.
Okay, I'm going to interrupt you again.
I agree.
I don't think Severance is good enough that we should be waiting
So-
3 whole ass years.
Here's the thing: we are getting better quality, but we're also getting less than half as many episodes.
Hold on a second. I got a question for Rebecca. Would it be better if they were half-ass years?
It just
We waited 7 years between the last episode of The
It's
Incredible
been
Hulk and Trial of the Incredible Hulk, and we liked it.
it's
years.
been 84 years.
That's right.
80
So my
we waited
my thing-
52 years for resolution of the cliffhanger of season 1 of Gunsmoke.
That's right.
I think it's a little ridiculous at this point. Is what I'm saying.
Who's the classical composer that we
One-
just found new music of him? We got new classical music from like Bach or someone.
Oh, did new
Before
Bach
we
just
got
drop?
season 2.
before we got a second season of Severance.
Did they use AI to bring Bach back and Ringo Starr's like playing the drums in the background?
No, they're like they found like actual music. I'm gonna have to
Look it up.
I believe
Robobach.
you.
Getting the Googles.
Robobach. Oh my God, there we go. So there's
There's
the new
Bach.
franchise.
I lo-
Robobach.
Robobach.
Remember when he walks out of the room and he'd be like, I'll be Bach.
I am Bach.
I am.
And then you have this crypt opens and you get Beethoven coming out just doing like I'll be here, whatever.
January.
it was Mozart,
Mozart.
not Bach. It was Mozart.
Oh, that guy was a hack.
Yeah, but Robo Mozart doesn't roll off the tongue like.
No,
Yeah.
Robozart.
Robomos.
not even Mozart
Robo-Mo.
works.
No, that could be anything. It could be a Mormon.
I like
Oh,
Robobach the
Yeah.
best.
They're working on
Robobach.
it.
Yeah,
I saw The Expanse.
January 17th is when this starts. But go watch the trailer because it's pretty intense. The press release says in season 2, Mark and his friends learn the dire consequences of trifling with the Severance barrier, leading them further down a path of woe. And he gets to the end of the hallway, and it's different people. They're the same people, but they're different people. You just go and watch it. You'll see what I'm talking about.
Severance hits weird when you've worked for a Fortune 500 company.
Yes.
It just feels like they made a documentary.
I watched the first season on my phone at my desk at my corporate job.
Yeah, I went from my cubicle at work to watch people in cubicles at home.
You watch it. You go from working on little screen to go home and stare at big screen.
That's right.
That's my life.
And then while I'm on the toilet, I stare at even smaller screen.
That
information requested, information received.
Screens all the way down.
Over communicate. What can I say?
All right. Let's see. Don't forget to join us for geekshowgotthiscovered.com. That's our Patreon. You get all kinds of. You get the Space Show early. You get videos from me in the Time Closet. You get the after party, which we have as soon as this show is done. We just keep talking.
It's right after.
So geekshowgotthiscovered.com is the place to go. For the I need to make you some more videos, clearly. I better do that this week. Also, geekshow.store is where you get our stuff. Look, there's a shirt. We don't have any coffee mugs, do we? We need coffee mugs. I feel like we need coffee mugs.
I would drink coffee from a Geek Show coffee mug if we had one.
Have we stopped threatening to get rid of the pink shirt?
I don't know.
I think the pink shirt is just an urban legend at this point.
It outlasted us.
At this point, I just don't know what to do. I'll be honest with you.
The pink shirt is the billionaire that owns us now.
It could be.
Yep.
Anyway, so join us. And, of course, the after party happening after this show. You can go and get signed up now and be ready to join us for the after party. Geekshowgotthiscovered.com. All right. This Running Man movie is getting bigger and bigger. We've added now Michael Cera, Rebecca.
What?
I just know you have kind of a low key crush on Michael Cera, don't you?
No, I'm so sorry. That's Jesse Eisenberg you're thinking of. Easy mistake.
They're totally. Their parts are interchangeable. I get it.
Look, I was so surprised with how good Michael Cera was in Man of Steel, though.
He was a good Lex Luthor.
He really was.
Michael Cera.
Guys.
Also, Emilia Jones is joining the Running Man. Michael Cera will play a naive rebel. Of course he's playing someone naive. A naive rebel who tries to help the desperate man.
Just Alan.
And yes, he is. And Jones will play a privileged woman blind to the oppression of the government opposite Powell's Richard. So Karen is who she's playing.
I would love to see Michael Cera play a role where he knows what's going on all the time and he's in charge of things and does a good job leading people.
Yeah, he did in Batman vs. Superman.
Oh, right.
Scott Pilgrim, I think is what you're looking for.
Scott Pilgrim, he totally knew what he was doing. He was a natural leader.
What? No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was. Just ask him. He would have told you.
As I remember it. Anyway, let's see. So November 21st. And so this is kind of a reunion for Michael Cera and the director, Edgar Wright, who, of course, did Scott Pilgrim. Anyway, so there you go. Now, this one, I'm curious as to the take on this. I was not at a wealthy school.
Carrie, we didn't have computers.
I wasn't either, but I still had this.
Come on now.
It was.
Computers didn't exist when you went to elementary school.
Yeah, Gary, computers weren't around when you.
That's true.
We went to school on the Oregon Trail. Yeah. We lived it.
My education was the Oregon Trail.
We heard about it back east.
Yeah, but they're making an Oregon Trail movie based on the game. Finally. Because this is something we've been demanding, right?
The only way that this is good is if it's a comedy. And
it is.
Okay.
If it's anything like Oregon Trail that my kids played, where they named everybody in the family after a real family, I will repeatedly die of dysentery pinned under a wagon.
Yep.
At the after party, back when I did stand up, I had a joke featuring the Oregon Oregon Trail that I would love to tell you guys in the after party.
Okay,
Bring it. Bring it then. See, there's another reason to join the after party. So it's Apple. It'll be on Apple Plus.
Surprise.
Apple TV.
Dang, that means it'll be good.
That's what I played the Oregon Trail on, was Apple
Well,
IIe.
I was going to say, I don't think there was a bidding war here, was there? It's still in early development, but it has Will Speck and Josh Gordon attached to direct and produce. You've got EGOT winners Benj Pasek and Justin Paul providing the music, and it's a comedy, and there's going to be a couple of musical numbers.
Oh,
I
come
just
on.
can't wait
Okay,
to see
so-
what flavor of Sheriff Clancy Brown plays.
So here's the thing. Will Speck directed the movie Blades of Glory.
Yes,
Okay.
So
which had
I don't know,
its
could be
moments.
fun, could be fun.
Yeah.
Yep.
The Lucas brothers and Max Reisman. Lucas brothers were Judas and the Black Messiah, and Max Reisman set to pen the screenplay. The game was meant to mimic 19th century pioneer times following a covered wagon train headed west. Created in 1971, the game reached cult status among American grade schoolers by the 90s as one of the first educational computer games allowed in school, and for its, it says hilariously, dark storylines filled with broken arms, typhoid, and dysentery.
Yep. So they need
Okay,
to have at
so
least
there's two
one
things
person.
Go ahead,
Well,
Tony.
we all have something to say.
We all got something to say.
I was going to say they have to have at least one person in this train that all they bring with them is a wagon full of bullets. And at every time they stop, they just kill as many rabbits and buffalo as they can, even though they can only bring back 50 pounds of meat. Because that's how kids played the Oregon Trail.
That's the secret?
Yep.
Okay.
Load up on ammunition.
Load up on ammo.
So
anyway.
there's one of two things that needs to be in this song. I mean, in this game, in the soundtrack, and I couldn't remember if I was conflating something or not, and I wasn't. There's a song by the Pet Shop Boys called "Go West," which would be great if this was in there.
Which
however,
was a village people
however,
song. Yes.
that's what I was going to say. If they do the Village People song, I'll go see it.
Go west, life is peaceful.
Oh
So,
my goodness.
Will
This is
Speck has
good.
also created and directed a show called Hit Monkey.
I
Oh,
do love Hit Monkey.
I like Hit Monkey. All right.
This Jacob Cogswell, the dysentery musical number is going straight to number 2 on the Billboard chart.
charts.
Yeah, because Rage Against the Machine's doing it.
That's right.
Tom Morello's like, yeah, love that game.
So anyway, you're going to get your Oregon Trail movie we've all been dying for.
I suspect
Of
Sleeper
dysentery.
Hit.
You think?
I hope so.
I think so. Us,
I think enough-
us of the younger generation loved this
Yeah.
game.
I think enough people are familiar with the game that they'll go see the movie. Why not?
Are any of you familiar with the line of Choose Your Own Adventure books based on this?
On this? No.
Yes.
I have some Marvel ones, but
No, there's a series of books. The girls got like 5 of them, I think, that are based on Oregon Trail, just various things in the Oregon Trail game. So you can go to your local bookseller and get a Choose Your Own Adventure Oregon Trail adventure.
Nice.
Okay. I've already died of dysentery, apparently.
It's a lot better than the Oregon Trail tabletop miniature game.
Did you play with the expanded rules though?
Tony,
My
Tony,
other
did-
piece of advice, if you're doing the Oregon Trail, you got to pay for the ferry. Save enough money to pay for you try to ford the river.
do not cross.
you
Do not
will
cross.
get
See, it sounds to me
hosed.
like Tony should be a consultant on this.
Well,
one.
Tony, did you go on Trek?
Yeah, we did a trek.
Okay, so Tony's lived it.
Yeah, it was terrible.
But the song says, "Don't pay the ferryman."
Oh,
Not
you
that you
gotta
can fix the
pay.
price.
Nope.
Until he
pay
gets
that
you to the other
ferryman.
side.
Gotta
Yes.
pay the troll toll.
Let's see. Okay, this is. I didn't want to say you guys were right, but here we are.
Black man can't get a movie.
Yeah. Marvel has taken Blade off the 2025 calendar. Now they're not canceling it.
They might as well.
It's becoming the new the Marvels. It just keeps getting kicked around.
No, but they at least made the Marvels.
That's true.
Yeah.
What she said.
But 20th Century Studios, who is also owned by Disney, they've said, "Oh, you're not going to do that day? We'll put our Predator movie there, November 7th, 2025."
I mean, but no, the one thing that we do get out of this is that Wesley Snipes was right. There's
Yes.
only one blade.
There is only one blade. There will only ever be one blade.
Devastating.
No real statement. Just this old one from July from Feige, who said for the last few years we've been trying to crack that movie. It's the most important thing for us is not rushing it and making sure we're making the right Blade movie, because there were some great Blade movies years ago.
Well, they're definitely not
what
rushing
is there
it.
what is there to crack?
Well, there's a huge divide between original Blade movie fans and Guillermo del Toro Blade movie fans.
And the Blade series fans.
Yeah.
I forgot about the Blade series.
And the Blade animated anime from Japan that was actually really good.
I totally forgot about the Blade series. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yikes.
But anyway, 20th Century Studios, of course, which is also Predator, is also Aliens and all that stuff. But Dan Trachtenberg, the director for Predator Badlands, says apparently while we were doing this, we did a secret Predator movie.
How do you do a secret movie these days?
Secretly?
It's not a secret if you tell everybody about it.
I have a theory.
What's the theory?
Animation, but that's just a theory. So you're getting 2 Predator movies and probably another Alien movie.
I hope it's that Predator Assassin's Creed crossover I thought up while I was in the hospital.
Well,
they are doing a sequel to Romulus.
Yeah, there's that, and I get the feeling that they're going to stick a Predator in that one, or they're going to stick an Alien in one of the secret Predator movies, because how do you say no to the
We've
deliciousness?
secretly replaced this movie with an Alien. Let's see if anybody notices.
And we can't crack a Blade movie, huh?
But this.
Put a Predator on it.
Just pop a Predator in there.
Put a Predator on it.
Yeah, there you go. Everything's
Is
better.
your movie just kind of lackluster? Pop a Predator.
Put a Predator on it.
Everything's better with a little Predator. Bum, bum, bum. All right. Let's see. So, yeah, you're getting more Predator movies. Now, this was interesting to me because they haven't even finished production on Starfleet Academy Season 1. And they've already said, we like what we see. Season 2 is a go.
Isn't that crazy?
It's
Probably
wild.
because they haven't shown it to any neckbeards yet.
Exactly.
So
It's on Netflix.
Okay, when we talk about another story later, Star Trek I'm seeing a side of Star Trek fans that I don't understand.
I'm
They're
with
not
you.
fans. They're not
I'm with you.
fans. They're not fans.
But yeah, this was just announced. The show developed by Alex Kurtzman. They said, yeah, we like what we see. Season 2, make it go. And Tatiana Maslany is going to join.
So there's a very relevant, and I can't even remember who said it, so the relevance is kind of lost, but there was a person I knew who really, really, really liked Star Wars, she claimed.
Mm-hmm.
And then after we found out that she didn't like Star Wars, she just liked Han Solo. And so an observation was made that she wasn't a Star Wars fan, she was a Han Solo fan. So there are a lot of people online right now who are screaming about the direction Star Trek's gone and how new Star Trek has been ruined and destroyed. They're not Star Trek fans. They're Picard fans, or they're Next Gen fans, or there's a thing they liked at some point in history about some aspect of Star Trek and decided they were fans. And that's really hard to do if you're that selective about what you like about something, right? Like, I mean, I liked all 8 of the Skywalker movies. They were great.
All 8.
But
Wait a minute. Weren't there 9?
Nope. 9th movie never happened.
yeah.
Okay.
They ran
It
out
was
of money.
rumored. It was
They
rumored.
ran out of money. It was
I
sad.
distinctly remember going to the theater to see a 9th movie.
You were hallucinating then.
I said, do you remember when we went to go see that movie, and then I had to stay at that theater and watch Cats immediately after?
That's right. I remember
That
now.
day took a heavy toll.
It's never been the same since.
I just remember the 14 minutes after Rogue One where Tony thought it was good.
Hey, I still agree with Tony.
The back
I
half
love
of that
Rogue
movie
One.
is good.
That Tony, I loved Rogue One, but Tony liked it once. Now he hates it because he's dumb.
Did
Rogue
you stop
One.
liking it,
Is that-
Tony?
Is that the one that's the after Andor?
Yeah.
No, I never really liked Rogue One. I saw it twice and fell asleep both times.
Which
Maybe
one
you should
was it?
take a
I
nap
remember.
before you go to movies.
No, wait a minute. I remember walking out of the theater with you. Which one was it? Where you said that was the best Star Wars ever? I'm
That
trying to
was-
remember
And that was number 8, and I stand
Yeah.
by that. The Ryan Johnson one.
Oh yeah, because that is the
Absolutely.
best. That is the best Star
Oh,
Wars.
it is.
It absolutely is.
Yep,
There you go.
100%.
But another character they are adding to this whole Starfleet Academy thing is it's Robert Picardo, the Doctor.
He's everywhere now.
No,
Yeah.
Reese. No, Roger Corby.
No,
We talked about Robert
Doctor.
Picardo being added a couple
Oh.
weeks ago. I
Oh, we
think.
did. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the EMH. He will
Yep.
be on the show.
Oh, I'm thinking of Reese Darby in Strange New Worlds.
Yes.
He's going to join Strange New Worlds. I was waiting for the confirmation of which character he was going to play before I
Yeah.
brought it up because
I
he's-
will die
he's-
laughing if he's Dr. Roger Corby.
it's makes sense because
I am
of
so
the story.
excited for them to carry on in this time period.
Yeah.
Because that's the other thing about Star Trek is Next Gen, for those of you that remember, when it came out, a lot of people were pissed because they wanted more Kirk.
Yeah.
They wanted more Kirk era stuff.
Mhm.
So going 70 years in the future and doing a new crew and a new Enterprise, there were a lot of people who completely rejected it. And now with Discovery, we ended up with this new time and this new Federation, and it's cool and I love it. And I wanted more of it.
It's different.
Yeah.
Let's see. So we got the word on Good Omens season 3.
Movie 3.
It'll
movie
be
3, exactly.
one episode. It's 90 minutes long. It'll be a movie, and that will be it.
So I didn't realize how much stuff was surrounding Neil Gaiman until digging into this article.
Yeah, I didn't either.
It's not great.
It's just a whole podcast, apparently, where, yeah.
Other women have
really-
come forward.
Yeah.
It's it's one of those ones that still feels like kind of undecided a little bit. I don't know. But
It's
it
when there's
seems like
when-
most of the stuff is stacked against him, which is what it seems like, if more than one people come through with that story, it seems like it starts to make sense,
Yeah. Well, he's backed off of, helping out on any of these,
Sandman, all of it.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
all
all
of
of
them.
it. He's backed
Yeah.
away. He's also backed away from Anansi Boys, and that show's just it's just completing production. Doesn't have premiere date, likely to be in 2025, but there you go.
I think that's what kind of makes this one feel weird compared to other accusations against other people, is they usually like fight it loudly. No, I'm going to stay here. I'm right, blah, blah, blah. And he's just kind of been like, "Bleh, I'm going to fade into the bushes.
I think in his case,
It's interesting to see how this plays out.
yeah, he's for so long championed other accusers who have said that somebody was being creepy, and I think he's just shutting the hell up because he knows he's
It
a creep.
really, it
Mhm.
really, really, really reminds me of Joss Whedon.
Yeah, he kind of just shut up too and backed away from everything.
Well, and he didn't outright deny much of anything, and
That's true.
But Whedon even had some things when Jane Espenson did some real creeper shit as showrunner on Buffy season 6, where Whedon said, "Well, ultimately it comes down to me not paying attention to what I was doing as a showrunner." It's hard when somebody that you respect. I love Neil Gaiman's writing, but
Yeah.
I can still love his books and admit that he's probably a shitty person. But
And hope he gets better, stops being a shitty person.
yeah.
All right. Here's some more bad news from the land of Star Wars. The Rey movie has lost its writer again.
I hope they find him.
I mean, at this
behind
point,
behind the couch.
at this point, I feel like Disney, and I've been saying this since the beginning, since they've been doing this, they need to stop announcing shit.
I think so. Keep it secret until you're ready.
Yep.
They
Secret,
also
keep
maybe
it
need to
safe.
stand behind a project instead of getting cold feet and
And
shit
there's that
canning
too.
Cowards.
everything.
Cowards.
Yes, yeah.
There's
Talking
that
to you,
too.
acolyte.
Yeah. Stephen Knight, the latest to exit the timeline after Rise of Skywalker with the movie. He parted ways with Lucasfilm, the planned Rey movie. He's just the latest to depart the project after he was replaced. I mean, we've had Damon Lindelof, Justin Britt Gibson, and now he's gone. So, yeah. I mean, full speed ahead on the Mandalorian movie.
Oh,
But,
great. Gee, thanks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's a guaranteed hit. They already know they can print the money on that. That doesn't
Yeah,
matter. This
I
one,
suppose.
they're so scared.
Pedro
of
Pascal doesn't even
sequel-era
have to
haters.
show up.
Yeah. Clint
Yeah.
Eastwood's Clint Eastwood's kid can put the armor on and just stumble around.
How do I get that gig?
Says
Be Pedro Pascal.
I guess. Throughout, the Ray movie has already faced multiple controversies, including rumors of its delayed production, the attempts by right-wing cultural grifters to discredit the ongoing culture, woke, and blah, blah, blah. I just don't know why we men haven't evolved. I was thrilled the first time I saw a girl in a comic book store. I was thrilled. Come on in, please.
Rob has a question.
Yes, Rob?
Rob has a question.
But they haven't taken it off the calendar, have they?
Let's see.
Nope, it's still on
I'm
the
just
calendar.
throwing that out. I'm not
still on the
saying. I'm
calendar,
just
yeah.
saying. They still haven't taken it off the calendar. So
It says here,
Disney can go to hell.
They're gonna
Don't
do that
go to
thing
hell,
where
Disney,
they focus
please.
on what focus groups say, and they're gonna get the worst focus groups imaginable.
exactly.
Find us all the neckbeards in a 5-mile radius, and let's talk to them.
Lucasfilm has an untitled Star Wars project currently stated for release on the calendar 2026 of December and December 2027. But
The Baby Yoda spin-off movie.
But Variety reports that
I hope
Knight's
so.
exit from the project and the search for a new screenwriter could mean the Rey film now may not enter production until late 2025 at the earliest. So there is a script. They're just arguing about what makes it go, I guess. I don't know.
Is Iger in charge of Disney again?
He's back, but he's looking for a replacement.
It feels like they've become so hellaciously cautious since he came back. Like they're just terrified of everything.
Well, I mean, look,
Yes.
his board members were all Trumpers, and they were trying to get rid of him because he was too woke.
Yeah,
You can see why he might be a little gun shy, but
yeah,
you know,
Meh.
So fun.
yeah. Welcome to our world.
And
Is,
I'm just afraid to get behind anything anymore after this year because so many cool things have just been shit canned unceremoniously.
yeah,
And cool. Do I want to get excited about new things that are going to get shit canned immediately?
yep.
So you know what the solution to that is, right, Lee?
Live in a woods.
No. Oh, the other end of that spectrum.
Okay.
Cade Studios.
Yeah, no, nobody wants to see that shit. It'd be Space Trash Man, the motion picture.
I'd see it.
Although I can't remember the name of that Korean sci-fi movie with the space trash people.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Shoot.
Because it was so good. Anyway, yeah.
There was a space trash TV series called Quark.
Yeah.
You remember that? Richard
Yeah.
Benjamin. Richard Benjamin was a spaceship that picked up garbage.
Yes,
Space
9.
Anyway,
What did you just say,
With
Rebecca?
Quark. I don't know. I'm not there yet. I'm allowed to say whatever I want.
Nobody's gonna stop you.
when did the Tomb Raider series start on Netflix? It was just a couple of weeks, right?
Yeah, not very long, less than a
A
month.
while ago.
Again, excuse me. Again, they've said we have faith in this. Let's go with season 2.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah,
you're getting
cool.
season 2 of it.
I just want to see. Now I can't remember her name.
Haley Atwell.
Haley Atwell play Lara Croft.
Captain Carter. I mean, Lara Croft.
I want that.
Have her play Lara Croft as like a modern time at age appropriate for everything, and I think it'd be great.
I would love to see it. I
just
mean,
don't
I'll
want to
watch.
hear her fake British accent.
I'll watch her. I'll watch her in anything. So I'm there.
I only want to hear her British accent.
Yeah.
Have we gotten a date for MI 11, whichever one it is that she's
No, but there's a rumor, heavy grains of
Did
salt.
it get off the calendar? Sorry.
but that a trailer for it might play before Gladiator 2.
Oh,
I saw that.
I will
yeah.
levitate out of my chair.
When don't you do that, Rebecca? I mean, it's not really an indication for us at this point.
That's why I don't like going to. That's why I really just don't like going to movies with you because you're always just floating around and shooting
You
electricity
guys,
out of
guess
your
what?
forehead.
My theater got the luxury D-box seats. My life is changed.
wow.
Wow.
All right. Well, let's see. Back to Star Trek, Section 31. We have a release date, January 24th.
So
We
this
have
is.
no footage, just posters. That's all we have.
Well, we
It's
got a
Michelle Yeoh.
trailer.
Do you
There's
need
a
more?
trailer.
There is?
Well, there was a
Have you
trailer
not
they
seen
did
the?
like a
Have you
while
not
back.
seen the trailer?
It's got young Captain Rachel Garrett before she was a captain.
Oh, that's right.
So,
okay.
so I saw a post. So this is where I have seen a side of Star Trek fans that I had never seen before, and I don't know what to do about it because there's a character poster for Captain Rachel Garrett,
Yeah.
and people are being so weird about it, and I don't know why.
Why are they being? What are they saying? What?
Blah 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 timelines. Blah blah blah. What's she doing? I don't want to see this captain. Blah blah blah. It's all stuff I don't understand.
Just also remember, this is the gospel according to my wife, which is, I love a lot of shows, and I've never commented on any of them online.
Yeah.
And
But as far as timeline goes, we're timey-wimey. We've got the Guardian of Forever. We can do what we want.
Yeah. So why do we give a shit?
I don't know what the problem is. A wizard did it. There, I fixed it for you. Okay, there you go.
My answer for everything.
I think it would make more sense if there was a wizard hat on the Guardian of Forever. Then they'd be like, oh.
Yeah, Rachel Garrett will be there. Michelle Yeoh, as always, resplendent as Philippa Giorgio. I'm looking forward to this, January 24th. So by the time we run out of Lower Decks, then we get this, right?
Don't say run out.
Yeah,
It makes
I guess.
me sad.
I know.
Yeah, but they're doing another comedy, so it's going to be
But
cool.
it's not Lower Decks.
Yeah, but they're talking
Is it on
about...
the calendar though?
Yeah, they
Thank you,
actually Paramount canceled Blade to make sure that it was...
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Okay, here's the timeline thing. All right. Rachel Garrett, Enterprise C, introduced in yesterday's Enterprise. That not gives Legacy Trek fans a bit of canonical intrigue. It also firmly places Section 31 at a point in time, not only wild to get Giorgio in, even though she's about that time of the classic Trek anyway, because of Discovery's far future and all that stuff. But the franchise has rarely explored in detail a nascent era between the events of the original series and the Next Generation.
Hang on a second.
So that's where this will be.
Trying to place this in Discovery's timeline. We saw elements of Section 31 before the jump. We saw it in season 2. So that was very much pre-Kirk. It was still because they had introduced Pike, because Pike had taken command of the Enterprise at this point. But they had Giorgio, they had this Giorgio, and there was a Section 31, a nascent one, but they had one. So it is timeline-wise, Garrett's going to be really young if she's...
And she is. You've seen her in the trailer.
they're
Pre,
saying that
like
it's gonna-
pre-captain.
Yeah, but I mean, she's
Yeah.
going to be... I mean, if she's captain, well, time-lost captain by the time we get to
Next gen.
Next Gen, thank you. The timeline, I mean, it fits if they actually pay attention to where Discovery fits in, it does fit within all of the wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff.
I mean, all the people complaining online, you haven't seen it yet. You're worse than the Catholic League complaining about dogma. You haven't seen it yet, you know?
It's this is where I just have to be an ass and say I haven't seen any of it. So any of the complaints, it's the bliss of being detached. Not that I'd advocate it for anybody else, because I'm just an old man yelling at clouds, so it doesn't matter.
And we love you. We love your cloud yelling. We're waiting to record a full album of it and just be like, track 2. Lee yells at Nimbus clouds.
Yeah, I think you have a future in this cloud yelling.
Sure.
Lee.
And finally this. The popcorn bucket wars continue.
Da-da-da.
Or is it a popcorn bucket arms
I don't know
race?
why people get upset about this. I think it's fine.
I think it's
Speaking
great.
of which, my Wolverine popcorn bucket shipped this last week. I pre-ordered it back when it was available.
Oh, I can't wait to see
What?
it.
I'll show you guys next week when it's
right.
here.
Coming exclusively to Cinemark theaters, the Gladiator 2 popcorn bucket isn't just a popcorn bucket shaped like the Roman Colosseum at the center of the franchise. It also has an AR element, which allows you to watch an actual battle happen inside the Colosseum itself.
That's
I
cool.
need to do this
So
audibly.
so
That's
they
fun.
missed they missed a
That's
huge.
fun. Let
Why
people
isn't
have
it?
fun.
Why isn't it a Colosseum full of spaghetti?
I mean, if you
So-
wanted to be a Coliseum full of spaghetti, you can.
I'm sure there's a way to program that.
And then when it's done, it looks like
I-
someone massacred the crowd.
I showed this to my husband and he was like, "Can you fuck it?" And I was like, "No, but you do get a UTI no matter what."
Well,
What
the
kind
answer
of
you
bucket?
You can fuck anything.
Wait a
anyway,
minute. It is
At least
Coliseum
one.
shape, so can you put the D&D miniatures in there and recreate the scene from
here's-
Honor Among Thieves?
Here's how this works. The idea is you order your popcorn bucket, finish the popcorn. Then after the movie scan, the AR code, there's an AR code that you scan, and you can watch this little AR battle through your phone.
And then you fuck the bucket.
So, yeah. But here's the bad thing is that doesn't that kind of promote your phone use in the theater?
Well, don't.
Who finishes that much popcorn in the theater?
I
I'm
mean,
going to
lots
put
of
this
people.
miniature in my Coliseum, Rob. It's so big, it's not even a miniature anymore. It's just like, kill Pedro Pascal.
I just need to say that I am opposed to this terrible marketing where it says enter the AR-RENA.
Ina.
That's terrible. AR is 2 words. You need to put periods in there.
You make a
first of all.
popcorn bucket, Tony.
I am thinking about it.
Tony, let's make a popcorn bucket.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. The con is the AR thing. The pro is that this is finally shaped like a popcorn bucket.
True. Valid point, Mr. Carey.
And
Yes.
and it'll make it. You know what'll make this popcorn bucket even better is if
Popcorn?
you put your Godzilla asleep in the middle of it. You take
Yay!
Yes.
Take
Like
your
in that
Godzilla
movie.
Yes.
and make it
Remember-
sleep in the.
Do you remember the first commemorative popcorn bucket back when Fargo came out, but people kept losing their hands in the shredder?
It was a wood chipper.
Yeah, it was a wood
popcorn
chipper.
bucket. I like it.
The guy who invented it famously said, "Well, back to the drawing board." All right. What do we consumed this week? What do we have?
I'll go.
Oh, fight!
No, we've already established Rebecca would win. So
Oh, okay.
go ahead, Rebecca.
Rebecca.
Yeah,
Cool.
Tony's broken. There's a new Lady Gaga single out called "Disease." It's very good.
Can I go?
Return to form. And the American Dad Greatest Hits album
Oh my
is
gosh.
out. You can stream it on
It's
Spotify.
an album.
I thought,
Yeah.
This can't get worse.
Okay,
and then
so-
it did.
So what are the songs on it now? I'm curious.
So we've got a full length version of the intro song, "Good Morning
Okay.
USA."
Yes.
Girl, you need a shot of B12. We're red and we're gay, hot enough, good, no, great job. When I was his alien. There's a whole.
Okay.
Stream it wherever you stream your music.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I read this book. I read this graphic novel called Laika by Nick Abadzis. And it
Oh,
is
is
a
this-
graphic novel about Laika, the dog sent to space by the Russians.
Oh,
This
okay.
is just a sad book.
She's the patron saint of one-way trips. And I know I talk a lot about my emotional reactions to stuff, but this one got me sobbing so much
I believe
that I was trying to explain the book to my husband and I physically couldn't because I was sobbing so much. So anyway, read that.
Well, then go watch Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and see that Laika is just fine
Yes,
and
just
changed her name
fine.
to Cosmo.
Yeah, it's just fine.
It's fine. Egg, you will be pleased to know I finally watched Transformers 1. As
Oh,
you can
really?
tell by my bad Acetron name. Transformers 1, it's the origin story of Optimus Prime and Megatron. And I don't know anything about Transformers. I just know they're robots in disguise. And they're more than meets the eye. And so I had a lot of questions about the universe in the movie. But then I realized I should probably just get over it. And but overall, a fantastic kids movie. I thought the animation was fantastic. I think we're really eating well for animation in the year 2024.
I agree. But this movie really is built for you. It's built for new people to the Transformers franchise. It was the way it was explained to me. But
Yeah. The first 2/3 of the movie, I was kind of like not really paying attention, kind of on my phone. The last third of the movie, I was locked in. Like the climactic part of the movie, they cooked. Like very, very good stuff. A lot of conversation to be had about colonialism, capitalism, bodily autonomy. There's a lot of really good messages to be had in Transformers 1.
So I have a question for you,
Yeah.
because I think that for me, you rating a movie depends on how much, what do you call it, hooting and hollering you did.
Yeah.
So was there any hooting and hollering?
During like the climactic part, I was like, oh damn, Yeah, it was pretty good.
Okay.
And the new release for this week, Venom 3, The Last
Ah.
Dance. You guys know I love a bad movie.
Mhm.
Because sometimes bad movies are fun. This one was not. This is
Oh.
not even fun. Like I didn't even have a good time.
They didn't even give it just one meme that makes it so that everybody thinks it's cool.
Well, here's
Give
the
us
thing.
a frame of reference of how you felt about the first two.
The first two I kind of enjoyed. I enjoyed it. I took Sarah with it to Broovies and we sat in the back and we had a blast. The second one I watched at home. The second one's like an hour long and I was like, what are we doing here? And even Woody Harrelson is there having a blast, kind of, I guess.
In a completely different movie.
Okay.
This one and introduces Venom LGBTQIA icon, right? Like he's at the club. We're at the club. We're all fam, and he's got all of his glow sticks on and fun. I can get on board with a fun Venom. This one, it was like they picked plot points out of a hat or things they wanted to include in a movie out of a hat, and then tried to build a cohesive movie around that.
That's how I live my life, so I might enjoy this.
And it even has the audacity to try to make us feel emotional at the wrap-up montage at the end. That's literally 70% footage of the movie we just watched. Like,
I hate that. That's like 1970s ABC Monday Night Movie stuff.
It felt so phoned in. And then the climactic battle at the end, some choices. There's a lot of choices being made here and a lot of choices not being made. And I'm like, what are we doing here? Why are we I don't even recommend it as like a fun bad movie. Like Madam Web was better than this, you guys.
Whoa. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shot
And I
fired.
saw Madam Web and it was terrible.
Yeah, like this Tom Hardy, I ride for Tom Hardy. I love him. I think he's fantastic. There's an interview on Twitter right now that I saw of him where he's talking about how he came up with the voices for Eddie Brock and Bane, and how he talks about how he came up with the Bane voice is so interesting. Way more interesting than any part of this movie. So
Wow. All
I
right.
think he's just so distracted because of that Peaky Blinders reunion. He just wants to be back in Peaky Blinders land so bad.
and
Like, that's all he wants to do.
our friends Juno Temple is in this and Chiwetel Ejiofor are in this, and I think you can tell they're embarrassed to be there.
Tony, can you get Bug Hunter's comment at the bottom there?
Yep.
Unfortunately, that just won't happen because Sony is making, despite making bad movies, they're making a ton of money off the license,
Still
off
making
the Spider-Verse licensing.
Because
And
people
they're
keep
just
going,
like,
oh, it's terrible. I'll go see it.
Also, I do have to make a correction. In a previous Geek Show episode, I said Russell Crowe shows up in the trailer for this movie. That's not Russell Crowe. That's just a guy. That's just a guy from a previous movie who looks like Russell Crowe.
You're another guy.
so it's Russell Foe.
Yes.
You're
Like, oh.
fooling us.
Let's throw
Yeah.
a fat, pasty Australian in this
The
movie
mom
just
from
so
Ted.
something-
She's in there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I got whatever.
And that
Movie sucked. This movie sucked.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
What's your rating?
Disappoint. I had 2 stars, I guess. I don't know.
2
What
out
did
of
you didn't
stars.
give numbers for Transformers 1? What do you put that one
4 out of 5 stars.
at?
4 out
Nice.
of 5. Okay.
Wow.
Who's next?
Let Tony
Okay,
go.
I'll go now.
Tony.
And then I'll interrupt him. No, just kidding.
I deserve that. Let's see. Lower Decks is back, baby. 2 episodes for us to deliciously consume. and
Otherford.
Yep, they are great. Lower Decks tastiness. It's bittersweet watching these episodes because it's like I love this and it's going away. And then the Penguin continues to just be amazing. I love it.
So good. I can't screech enough about how good this is.
Yeah, they got the 2 main characters are just so awesome. You have Colin Farrell as the Penguin, and dang it, I specifically looked up her name so I could remember
Kristen Milioti.
Kristen Milioti for
She is amazing.
Sophia
Falcone.
Falcone.
Well,
I wanted to say Maroni, but I knew that was wrong. Yeah, Sophia Falcone, and she is freaking fantastic in this role. And yeah, just I can't say enough good things about the Penguin. I think it's absolutely phenomenal.
I mean, it's a show my wife will watch. She loves it.
Let's see. I played all the way through over the last week or so Silent Hill 2, the remake.
Spooky.
And, yeah, it's a great. That's the problem with this game is it's really good, but it just runs like dookie on the PC. It has a lot of stutter issues and just loading problems with assets here and there, and just it's one of those things that if it had just had another, I don't know, a few months in the oven for them to fix things, it would be a 9 out of 10 game. But it stands, it's like I think it's like a 7 because of the technical issues, at least on PC.
Am I correct? There's a mod for this game where you can remove all the fog.
Oh, if there is, I would not recommend it because that's like 80% of the atmospheric aspect of the game. The
Not
fog
for
is
Rebecca,
fantastic.
because it's scared. It's the scary.
It's
Yeah,
scary.
She,
it is.
She wants the
I
fog
don't
removed.
I don't like scary games.
So
I want
she
to
can
play
see.
it no fog in the daylight.
The fog is so well rendered in this game. It looks fantastic. But yeah. And then what was the books? I started Wheel of Time 6 for some reason. Here we go.
Oh, you're almost halfway through.
I know, right? It's a sunk cost at this point. I've come far enough that I can't stop. And
it picks up around book 11 again. You're almost there.
When Brandon Sanderson takes over. Oh, dang it. And then I read some comic books. I read 0 Hour, an old DC crossover event that I can't tell if you're happy that I read it or sad that I read it from that expression, Rob.
I'm waiting to hear what you thought of it because
I thought it was awesome, honestly. I thought it was a lot of fun. 0 Hour.
it was
what is it?
DC's first semi reboot after 1985's Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah. And I didn't quite understand the Hawk aspect of it because they lean into him being the bad guy for the first little bit, and then all of a sudden it's just like he's out.
Okay, so did you finish it?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so there was a problem because they'd written Hawk. They had led up to Hawk being the big bad behind 0 Hour, the time crisis.
Yep.
And then there were enough leaks. There was fan outrage about you can't do this to Hawk. So they pivoted in the middle of the story and made Captain Atom the bad guy.
No, Captain Atom wasn't the bad guy.
Didn't he become Monarch in that?
No, that
was the retcon.
Yeah.
They actually retconned it after 0 Hour to go, it was never Hawk, it was actually Captain Atom the entire time.
Oh, okay.
And that was what the outrage was. Okay, that's what it was.
It was I can't remember who the big bad was after they kind of shoved Hank to the side. But anyway, overall, it was Parallax. All of a sudden Parallax comes in and he's like Hal Jordan, and he's like, I'm going to reboot the universe in my own image and make sure everything's good. And it was like that happened like 90% the way through the story. All of a sudden, Hal Jordan as Parallax is the bad guy, and it's like,
well, but he'd been that way because he'd already at that point killed the core.
Right? Yeah. He was already kind of a bad guy. I know that. I mean, a bad guy in general, but he wasn't a big bad guy reboot the universe thing. He just comes in all of a sudden at the end, and he's like, I'm the one behind the curtain.
So to finish that arc, because it wound up being an arc, you'll need to read Final Night.
Okay. Well, and then they did something, I think just like 2 years ago that tied into it. Because it was what was recommended to me next. After that, it was a 0 Hour modern aspect of it. Anyway, it was good overall. I really enjoyed it. I liked seeing some more about Ryder, Wave Rider. He's an interesting character I don't know much about. So anyway, good stuff. Get the DC Universe app if you want to read a bunch of comics for a low monthly payment. I thoroughly enjoy that.
All right. Let's see. Lee or Rob?
Oh, Rob needs to go. It's his birthday.
Okay.
I love your white guilt, Lee.
I own that.
Go ahead.
So
Well, don't tell him what to do.
I didn't.
finally caught up on Only Murders for the podcast.
Yeah.
Finally. So I understood now what everybody was talking about, and it was a delightful episode to watch.
Yes.
And the episode after that was also just a bit of a hoot. I quite like that show. I'm quite enjoying it. Agatha all along, episode
we didn't
7.
even talk about
yeah.
Agatha.
Sweet
all along.
monkey squeezing Jesus. Best episode ever.
Pretty rad.
I mean, I was typing with Rebecca after it's like, oh my god, can you believe this? And I mean, the way that they brought everything to this point full circle with Patti LuPone's character, because I mean, I've seen her in a couple of things. I've been like, okay, good actress, but watching her time jump through this,
oh yeah,
and the perfect. I mean, I'm a Jim Croce fan, so capping this with Time in a Bottle, I'm just like, oh.
Well, and it was interesting too that if you remember, that's the song that Quicksilver used the first time he ran. They did the slow motion.
I think
X-Men.
I've seen people bring that up. I think you guys are
It's
stretching.
it's
you guys
probably
are
just
stretching.
coincidence.
it's just a coincidence.
Yeah.
But
But Evan Peters was in the last episode.
Exactly. Evan
Stress.
Peters was in the episode
Chill out, you
before.
guys. Settle down.
I'm
But-
stretching.
Now I'm gonna say something, and it's not a spoiler, but the reveal about Aubrey Plaza.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That has, I wonder how far they're going to take the implications of that, because
Well, they're gonna uncover Thanos' other glove.
that's what I'm wondering. You know, I'm like,
gross. I do want to say a big F you to Funko, because Funko spoiled that shit forever ago.
oh, they did.
Oh.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't
yeah.
know.
Well,
they
I'm
did.
glad that I don't pay attention to Funko that much.
Yeah.
because
I mean,
that
I
would
don't
have
either, but it found its way into my mind.
But I mean, it was Brett, watch the episode. It's
This-
a beautiful episode.
This whole series with Agatha is shaping up to be one of the better Marvel series.
It is. And
Yeah.
again, I mean, like I said, kudos to Patti LuPone. I have seriously underestimated and underrated her before. I still love watching Catherine Hahn's emotional U-turns in the middle of a scene, and just how quickly she
Oh,
can
yeah.
go from one emotion to the opposite in a beat. And you're just like, you ain't wrapped too tight.
If you want to become a fan of Patti LuPone, go online and search Patti LuPone yells at someone in the audience.
She's
I will do
fiery.
You can see her.
So funny.
She's kicking a guy out of one of her shows at a
Oh,
theater.
Well, no wonder
awesome.
her and Aubrey Plaza get along so well.
Exactly. She's
It's like
Alrighty.
they were roommates. It's so funny to me.
I was so happy to see Patti LuPone in the show, because nobody really realizes what a powerhouse she is. She's
No, and
just-
she, like I said,
Unless
this
you're a big
episode.
Broadway fan.
unless you- yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah, true. But yeah, watching this, I was just like, wow, she was fantastic in this episode. Not that she hasn't been good in the others, but this one was like a standout. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I got into one of my dad TV shows and watched SWAT and was going, yeah,
Which SWAT?
the new
version,
SWAT,
yeah.
the new one.
70s.
Oh,
Not 70s
I mean,
SWAT?
I still like.
SWAT,
I mean, I'm a Robert Urich fan, so I still love the '70s SWAT. But yeah, but the new SWAT, I quite enjoy. And it's funny that you're doing that, because the show will come on, Sarah will be like reading in the room with me while I'm watching TV, and she starts singing the theme song. It's kind of like, my life is complete.
Just like, feels good.
All right.
Yeah,
Was
life is
that a Quinn Martin production?
Everything was a Quinn Martin
I was going to say, but back then, it was all Quinn Martin. That was the busiest man in show business, next
He
to James
was.
Brown.
Yep.
Tony, give me the one real quick.
Okay.
Rebecca.
Comic books. Here we go.
Dazzler number 2, continuing the world tour.
How's she
This
doing?
time,
She good?
She's kicking ass in London this time.
What's
She's in a
Guido
talk.
doing there?
Guido is her roadie, her chief roadie,
Nice.
and Domino is her security chief.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say, it looks like Domino. Yep.
What's
Yeah,
this outfit
this is-
she's wearing? Is that supposed to be a Union Jack?
It is supposed to be Union Jack. She does not wear this in the issue. She's wearing a variation of her disco white uniform with the face paint
Mask.
makeup,
Oh.
and it's lovely. A kind of a twofer here.
All right.
X-Men and Avengers. Both of these are written by Jed McKay. The tones for both are very different.
Okay.
Tempest here finds a young mutant who's trying to hide out, trying to contact the X-Men, but she doesn't have authorization to go get her, so she recruits Magic to help her figure out what's going on with this girl. There's a good story there. Jed's other book, The Avengers, second issue with Storm on the Avengers, taking Thor's spot, and the Avengers are summoned by Doctor Doom to answer a question. And the issue is the Avengers explaining to Doom what they think about his question, and Storm just kind of like, why are we even talking about this? And I'm liking the way that McKay is writing Storm. It's the Storm that we have seen in the past, kind of the forceful, like, look, I know what I'm doing. This is not my first time doing this. But watching her interact with other heavy hitters consistently and bringing something to the team. Good book. I'd say check this out. Another twofer, really quick. Nightwing 119 and Superman 19 as well. Part of DC's All In line. Come over this way. These are issues where people who are trying to figure out, I'd like to get into something. This seems like a fun book, but I don't know where to start. The All In first issues are great jumping on points for anybody.
So it's like your drug dealer. The first one's always free.
Always free.
Yeah. So this one's kind of here's a taste.
Here's a taste. And the Nightwing is kicking off a brand new storyline where he's driven off the big bad guy that he was fighting through all of the Fallen Grayson series, the last 5 issues. And they're kicking off a storyline where all of a sudden, all of the crime bosses have died. All the top crime bosses in Bloodhaven have died, and there's a power vacuum, and Nightwing's got to deal with it. Okay. And watching what he does is a very different take and a little bit unexpected. This story, there's a superwoman. Her name is Lois Lane.
Okay.
Oh.
What the what? And I'll just leave it at that.
Well, she's had powers a few times throughout.
She has,
history, right?
but this is
they're always
there's
temporary.
a mystery involved.
How do I know she's a woman in a comic book if she doesn't have a bare midriff or a boob window or bare legs?
You have to take it on faith.
Yeah, Rob's
Whoa.
right. You just gotta
Woke.
take it on faith.
Woke.
And Power Girl, leave her alone. She's doing her own thing, and she's owning her right to have a boob window on her costume.
Yeah, well, the agency's great.
Yeah.
Action.
What's this?
1072. Sands of Time. I'm not quite sure what they're doing here. One of the major characters that has shown up here is Mon-El from the Legion. And we know that it sounds like this is before his time in the Legion while he's still in the Phantom Zone. But he and Clark have interactions, and you can see, and Clark actually makes a point of like, for a week I had a brother, and they kind of give a quick rundown of how Superboy met Mon-El way back in the day. And you can see where their paths have diverged, where Mon-El has had some things happen during his time in the Phantom Zone, which would be in, like, at this point, 20-ish years in the Phantom Zone.
Eek.
Now, the hitter of the week.
Oh, question actually about the Phantom Zone, real quick.
Yes.
Does time not pass there? Because it seems like people don't age in the Phantom Zone.
Yes and no.
It's a weird place.
It's so basically metabolic functions don't seem to continue. For most of it because you're immaterial. There are spots of physicality. There are pockets of physicality, basically. But for the most part, it's just like timeless void. So imagine, in Mon-El's case, spoiler for Legion, not for people not familiar with the Legion, imagine spending 1,000 years watching everyone you know and love die.
Yeah.
That's Rory in Doctor Who when he was the Centurion.
Yes, very much so. Yeah. Okay, big hitter of the week.
So this is the recommend.
Absolute Wonder Woman #1. This is not the Wonder Woman you know.
I don't know.
I cannot tell you anything about this without spoiling the story, other than you need to read this book. This is Kelly Thompson, who
I was
love
just
her
about
run
to
on
ask who wrote it.
Kelly Thompson, whose run on Captain Marvel followed Kelly Sue DeConnick's run. and I quite enjoyed her run on it. Her take on Diana, or this take on Diana, is very different than anything we've seen before. There are elements that are familiar, and there's a lot that you're just going to be like, but that's entirely new and different, and wow. Pick this book up. You will not be disappointed.
All right. Thank you very much. Lee.
Excellent there. All right, so continuing to watch House of the Dragon, no longer grudge watching, fan watching now.
Wow.
I got to see two dragons beat the shit out of each other, and then a third dragon came in and ate them both. And I was like, yeah, dragons. And then my dog has a dragon costume now, and I noticed that she wouldn't take it off. She was like one of those toddlers that never wants to take their Halloween costume off, and she would run away when we were trying to take it off. And I realized it's because she's been watching House of the Dragon with me, and so she was pretty sure she's a dragon now. So that's cool. Abbott Elementary. It's just one of those shows that I love. I can't stop being entertained by it. I just love it. And this last episode was all about ringworm.
The ringworm episode was good.
I was dying because as my dad's Mr. Johnson without being Mr. Johnson. I grew up with a crusty old janitor in my house, and
Mr. Johnson
I'm not 100% sure that I've heard the words. The key to ringworm is making sure you never don't have it.
He is my favorite character on that
So
show,
good,
hands down.
And that's the sign of an agile writer's room where they go, okay, this guy's funny. He's just a bit character. Let's pepper in a little bit more. So great stuff. Catching up on Lower Decks. I know the new season just started, but I finally got to Moopsie. It drinks bones.
Moopsie! If not friend, why friend-shaped?
Yeah, it's just fantastic. Only Murders, so thoroughly entertaining. And I love how no matter how much you think you know what's going on with Only Murders, you'll never know. So
Exactly.
I did call who they say might be the murderer, but I think it's still not necessarily the murderer. I called it about 10 minutes into the episode, but only because I was desperately throwing out every name, and one of them just stuck. So
one of them will be right. Yeah.
Great British baking show. Finally got to the bottom of why it's not Bake Off here, but it's Bake Off everywhere else in the world. Pillsbury owns the copyright to Bake Off and has since 1949 and will not let them use it.
Oh,
it's great.
Interesting.
It's the Great British Baking Show here. Caramel Week. Oh, caramel. Huh?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
It's
Yeah, good
Caramel
stuff.
Week.
I haven't finished it, so don't ruin it for me.
Yeah, oh, I won't. But
They're like a big reveal. Does
yeah,
Mephisto
kid
show up?
Dylan's killing it. He's doing it. So,
Is he the one
finally,
that looks like Aquaman?
like half
one?
Japanese
Aquaman?
Oh,
Like
which
Aquaman?
Aquaman?
like half
Momoa.
Japanese Aquaman?
Yeah. He looks like Momoa, kind of.
Yeah, like hot Momoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Like
hot.
Hotter Momoa?
No, like if Momoa, he could be Aqualad.
He could.
Yes, he'd be perfect.
Yes.
So, all right.
James Gunn, are you listening?
Finally got through season 1 of Winona Earp, a show that I constantly want to watch, and I always forget about it. So now we're into season 2. It's fantastic. It's everything Buffy wished it had been. So that's great.
I love Winona Earp.
First 3 episodes of the new season of Shrinking are out, and yes, Harrison Ford, you've always been a comedian. I agree with you. He is so goddamn funny. Agatha All Along, fantastic. This was one that, from a cinematography standpoint, also blew my mind. It was just so
really good.
so love you. And then the movie that made me cry like a tiny little baby. We finally watched Will and Harper. Will Ferrell going on a road trip with one of his oldest friends. And I'm bawling halfway through it just because they show the ugliness of humanity and they show the decency of humanity all in like 90 minutes. And the whole thing is Harper using Will Ferrell as a shield to be able to indulge on a cross-country road trip, which had been her favorite thing to do before transitioning when she looked like an all-American Levi's wearing dude.
But then Harper realizes that that's what they're doing.
Right.
And then Will Ferrell realizes that's what's been going on, and they both feel bad, and it's
there's a phenomenal couple of scenes. One takes place, I think, in Indiana or Iowa, where everybody in the bars is super accepting of Harper and wonderful, and then the next one is in Texas, where everybody's a shithead. Yeah. So I only know a few people in Texas. I'm sorry you live there. But anyway, because of that movie, I had to turn around and wash the sadness out with one of my favorite Will Ferrell movies, Casa de Mi Padre, which is his Mexican soap opera comedy. entirely in Spanish.
A lot of people don't know about this, Lee.
What is this?
Yeah. Watch it, Tony. It is your movie. It is your movie.
It is
Casa de mi Padre.
It is a Mexican soap opera, and it's all in Spanish. And Will Ferrell does all of his lines in Spanish.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
He does really well. His Spanish is actually quite good.
Yeah.
There's a lot of use of mannequins. There's a lot of use of
in.
stuffed coyotes. There's a musical number called Yo No Sé, which is literally means
I don't know.
I don't know. So, it is the most sublimely ridiculous movie I've ever seen, and I've seen it about a dozen times. But last night, because I had the SADS, I had to watch it. So
a lot of people unaware about that movie. I love it.
it's a classic. It's what you do when you're Will Ferrell and you just have some time.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Of course, Lower Decks, Penguin, Agatha, all along, all terrific shows. Watched them. The franchise is shaping up to be quite a good show.
I'm watching that too, Carrie. Yeah,
Yes,
I'm
it's
enjoying
shaping
it.
up to be very interesting. There's a lot of very quick throwaway lines that are hilarious. You know, that are just spoken kind of in half a breath, you know, and you have to pause and go, oh, that was funny. And then you start it up again. Also watch the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction. It's still on Disney Plus. And again, I say this every year when I watch it, let's honor our heroes before they start to fall apart. Let's
Didn't Maynard James Keenan perform a Black Sabbath song? For,
Keenan was there. Yeah,
Ozzy?
he was there. It was an all-star jam with the Ozzy tribute, but
Nice.
it was nice to see Dionne Warwick still has it. That was cool. She's amazing. Cher still has it. She was awesome.
Cher never gonna lose it.
Exactly.
I do think it was so bizarre that they had Dua Lipa performing with Cher.
That was
I like Dua Lipa. I don't think she has it to
Exactly.
perform with
because
Cher.
because then Cher comes out and it's
Upstages
suddenly-
her.
It's all
Yeah.
about Cher now. You know?
Yeah.
Hey, Cher could upstage Sonny Bono too. That was no easy task.
Maybe that's why they had Dua Lipa, so Cher could come out and just blow the doors
This is
off
how it's
after.
done.
I
Yeah.
don't know. But then because we were thinking, it's Halloweeny season, we need to watch something scary movie, some kind of thing. We went and watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original from '78. Watched it last night.
Yuck.
It's good.
Oh, it's fantastic.
It's good.
That's why Nowhere Man was such a good show, because the writer and the director of Texas Chainsaw did Nowhere Man with Bruce Greenwood back in the late 90s. And
Here's
it was
the
fantastic.
thing. This movie was such a scandal when it came out, but here's the deal. Hardly any blood, no swearing, no nudity. But it scared the shit out of everybody. It was amazing. Anyway, everything's implied. You don't see anything actually happen. Everything's implied. You know.
That might be worse for my imagination.
It is.
When you're done, Carrie, I remembered I have one more thing that I forgot to mention.
Oh, okay. Well, then just real quick, I'll say I've been dipping into the back catalog of King of the Hill because I missed my dad this week.
Oh, King of the Hill's so good.
Because
It's coming
Hank
back.
Hill,
I had no idea it was coming back.
yeah, Hank Hill is my father, just so you know. And I, yes, am Bobby Hill, just so you know.
That explains much.
It explains a lot.
That's my purse. I don't know you.
Cheerleader under those sheets.
He practices kissing on Rock, not the makeup head.
All right. Robert, yes, before we go?
Yeah, I completely forgot about this. Thursday night, my father-in-law took the four of us, my mother-in-law, and my sister-in-law, who was in town, to the organ loft in South Salt Lake.
I saw your
We
posts,
saw
yeah.
the 1925 Phantom of the Opera with a live organ being played during the show.
That's cool.
Phenomenal.
My church group used to meet there back in the 80s. And I remember I saw Metropolis there, and I saw Creature from the Black Lagoon there, which was weird because that's not a silent movie, but they were doing music from it. Just that organ is amazing.
It's amazing. It's like a 2,400 pipe organ.
Yeah.
And it's also got like other percussive instruments that are tied into it. And the guy who's playing it has been playing there for, I think he said, 35 years. And
I believe
watching this movie with, the audience who's just like, we're about to see something. And with my kids, and, at the end of it, we're kind of like, well, the pacing for this may not be their cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
They raved about it after the fact.
Yeah.
They're like seeing a movie that was just all practical effects, not a bunch of special effects, seeing the makeup, hearing the organ being played. they were gaga over this thing.
Wow, that's cool.
And it was really great because I know that my father-in-law used to go with his dad, in his older years, to take him here to watch movies. So getting to do this with his grandchildren and his daughters was, one of those special things. But to have the kids come up to him afterwards and hear them tell him that was fun, that was great, was just like, icing on the cake.
There you go. That's great. All right, folks, we're going to head to the after party. You can join us if you'd like. Oh, well, games, okay.
GBB.
I actually have it up.
Pretend. Oh, I was going to say
Harry.
pretend like you have it.
No, I do. Because we're getting close to the holidays, so there's a lot of stuff coming out.
Oh, that's true. Okay.
Yep. If you're a fan of the Life is Strange games, you're getting a new Life is Strange Double Exposure coming out on PC and PlayStation and Xbox. Finally, after 100 million years, we have Red Dead Redemption on PC, the first one. Coming out on PC. Yep.
I am taking over that fort in northern Mexico, and no one's stopping me.
There you go. 29th of October, Red Dead Redemption on the PC.
I should not have loved that game, but I loved that game.
That game's amazing, Carrie.
I know,
Are you a
right?
horse girl?
No, that's the thing. I'm not a cowboy or horse person. I shouldn't have loved that game, but I did.
Someday, I'm going to find what Geek Show listener was playing that very, very heavy set gentleman with the sniper rifle that was riding a zonkey around and killing me every time I logged into Open World. I think it's the same guy that played Tim the Death Knight in World of Warcraft, who also killed me every time I logged in.
You're being
I'll
followed.
find you someday.
Coming out on your mobile devices, Pokemon trading card game is out on iOS and Android. So if that's your jam, there you go. Shadows of the Damned, an old game for the 360 PS3 era, if I recall, has got a remaster. It's Shadows of the Damned Hella Remastered, coming out on everything. Horizon Zero Dawn remaster, PC and PS5. That looks really awesome. And then finally, after another 100 billion years, we have Dragon Age: The Veilguard, a new Dragon Age game. Yeah, Lee, that's right. Coming out on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. That comes out Halloween Day, 31st, and I am very much looking forward to playing Dragon Age again.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. Let's head to the after party. Y'all can join us. GeekShowGotThisCovered.com. Live long and prosper, bitches.